This is how I used some high heels to create custom heels for a Fran cosplay. For the custom pieces, I used 3D printing to create them. I used PETG and soft TPU rubber to create durable and flexible pieces for the heels. I take advantage of the soft TPU material to support difficult areas and cut them out and polish them later. I bought some heels and took off the heel. They're fastened with screws. I'm going to use my PETG shape as a mold to create my own heels. By gluing some steel rods inside, I'm able to create durable heels that won't snap. I then filled the entire cavity with resin. Resin doesn't snap as easily as a 3D print. This way I can make durable custom heels without having to create a custom mold for them. Basically, the 3D print is its own mold. This does mean that I have to polish the 3D print. I used sanding and filler primer to create a smooth surface. Once my custom heels were complete, I used some hot glue to keep them in place while I drill and screw in screws for the heels. Using my drill, I pre-drilled some holes and then attached the heels with some flat countersunk screws, making sure that it doesn't poke through the sole. I used about 2 or 3 screws for each heel to make sure that it is nice and sturdy. I saved the heel tips from my old heels and used these to protect my new heels. This set of shoes also came with a spare set of heel tips, so I was able to use all 4 of them for my heels. Once the heels were fastened, I was able to flip the sole back and glue it back in place. I used contact cement to glue them. To paint the shiny shoes, I used some alcohol to degrease it, added a layer of Plastidip, and then a light layer of spray paint on top. For this project I used Krylon spray paints and some PlaidFX acrylic paint to paint everything. Once everything was completed, I removed the painting tape and assembled all my pieces. The rubber toe pieces were glued on using a superglue that was designed to glue rubber. I make sure to roughen up the surface a little bit so that the glue bonds better. This will help prevent loosening the pieces later on. Then, as a final step, I used some silver rub and buff to create some highlights. These heels are super sturdy and they're even more stable than regular ones.